Hey guys, I hope you're hungry. Welcome back to Full Incense and War Stories. So today I'm joined by TheIceMann, and the reason we're not playing Battlefront is we're going to do a review of Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
So, right off the bat, what do you think in general?
In general, completely, absolutely loved it.
Yep.
It's not perfect, but it's going to go down as probably as one of my favorite games ever.
Oh my god.
But really, the series is. I mean, that's just kind of par for the
series,
course, if I may.
So I definitely agree that I thought it was really, really excellent, and I'm really happy with it. It was a very satisfying conclusion. But I also definitely felt that it had some big problems. Like, I would never say that claim it was a perfect game or anything like that.
No, not at all.
So just to start out with something good, as you can tell, just by looking, I'm just kind of wandering around on a random level here, but the game is so gorgeous.
Yes.
Like, I would say, besides maybe Battlefront, it's the best looking game I've seen on PlayStation 4. And the characters in this are definitely better than on Battlefront, so it might be the very best.
Oh, I definitely agree. It's so pretty, just so much detail. I mean, you can go, anywhere on the map, and everything is just perfect.
Right. And the gameplay is still really good and really tight. I've always felt that the action, the combat was kind of lacking in these games. Like, it was the weak point compared to like the story and the environments are always so good that it was just sort of like the necessary glue to hold it together. But I thought it felt better in this game than in any other Uncharted game. And they made some slight changes here and there that I really liked. Like, especially in Uncharted 1, they had a lot of gimmicks with the PlayStation controller. Like, you could really move your controller to throw grenades and stuff, and they did away with all of that. There's not really any kind of gimmicks. But there are other gimmicks that I thought were less successful. Like, so a new thing in this game is you slide on your butt down, like, inclines, and then you'll jump off of them or grapple off of them and all that sort of thing. And I thought that was kind of overused because you do it so much. Like, the characters themselves complain about it, about how often you have to do it. And when you have, already quite a long game, like, it felt sort of padded to have, like, oh, yet another time of, like, going down this hill, and then, oh, I'm gonna have to find a crate on wheels again to get a little boost up because it's a little bit too tall. Like, definitely some of the exploration started to feel repetitive, especially towards the end of the game, which is where you were most excited to see the conclusion anyway. So it was when you wanted to really move on with the story.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, it makes sense in the beginning, like, here, give me a boost. Okay, let me see if I can find anything for you. Okay, here's this cart you gotta push. Like, that makes sense at the beginning because you're building and you're kind of learning a little bit just the controls and how the game feels, But I don't need that at the end when, I'm trying to get out.
Right.
Like, I didn't even bother looking for stuff to climb on after a while, because, or like pushing a cart in that sense after a while, because I knew that I would just have to wait a minute and my ally would get it for me.
But the games, the puzzles I thought were really strong in this, like in other Uncharted games. I would say, I don't know if it was like the best, but it was among the best puzzles that the game had to offer. Or the series had to offer, I should say. This is a particularly cool one, so you have to, it's not anything like high brain power, like it tells you exactly what you have to do, but just traveling around the clock tower here and going to the different zodiac symbols and stuff, it was just kind of interesting. It was a good combination of puzzle solving and platforming, which is really the series bread and butter. So what were some other things you wanted to mention? You said you had some problems with Rafe, the villain.
Well, yeah, just I don't know if it was intended for him to be kind of a goofus, and I'll explain, or if it was like an oversight on the storytelling. But okay, so basically the story is you're going after Henry Avery, the pirate's treasure.
Uh-huh.
And there's a really big clue in the St. Dismas Cathedral in Scotland. And so, like, it's not we're led to believe that the treasure's there to start with, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
No, in these games it wasn't gonna be, but
yeah, that's the first.
Thinks the treasure is there.
Right, that's the first breadcrumb.
So the Drake brothers have not been looking for this treasure for a while now. Like, it starts off 15 years previously, and they're looking for it with Rafe, and then they don't, and then it comes to the present. Rafe has been looking for it the entire time.
In that cathedral.
In that cathedral.
And didn't find that clue.
Anything?
One thing I noticed, we're going to try to keep it, I guess, relatively spoiler-free about, like, what exactly happens, but a lot of the story beats, I mean, you're going to assume, like, yeah, they find a treasure. You know, like, it's nothing. So, like, at the end, they find the treasure, and then you can see, like, they escape just right back out to the ocean. There's a crack, like, in the cave wall where there's a gap. So if they just knew where that was, they could just have gone right up to it in a boat from the very beginning. Everything was for nothing. Like, it's just open out to the sea.
Right. But
yeah, Rafe, I didn't think he was very compelling. I kind of wish that they had gone a different way. He was not really threatening either.
Well, yeah, and I don't understand why we weren't friends with him anymore.
Yeah, true. Like,
we were just fine when the game started, and then we go to modern day and everybody hates each other. Why didn't we just look for it together? It saved hundreds of lives.
At least hundreds, countless.
They're just paid help that we killed.
Yeah, they're all dead. Yeah, that's definitely one thing that a lot of people complain about at the Uncharted games is, like, how many people have to die? Like, what is wrong with you?
And it's so funny. I mean, they can't really they couldn't do anything else. But it's funny, after you get done killing 900 people, you're just like, oh, well, that was
whoa, what a workout.
Yeah.
But I did think that this game did better in that than other games. Like, it really emphasized how, like, it's always in self-defense. It's always the bad guys that hire these militia armies. Well, sorry.
It's true.
And that was one thing that I thought was probably the strongest point of the game to me, is I thought its feel was really, really good. You definitely felt like Drake was tired of this life and was perfectly content to move on, but was just dragged back into it. And it's not what he wants anymore. And that what made, like, his conflicts with the other characters about it, you know, a lot more believable and engrossing. Like, you really feel for him because he doesn't want it. He wants to be free of it and have his normal life that he's earned.
I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit. I definitely think he feels that way, but I think he's a little bit conflicted. I got the sense that he was definitely, like, not coerced, but, you know, went against his wishes. But once he's doing it, I get the sense that he enjoys it. Yeah,
that's more than fair, because, well, yeah, like, he was hardly, I mean, I know, like, you know, Sam says, like, oh, my life is on the line, but, like, he still went for it. Oh, okay, cool, let's do it. Like, he doesn't even really, and I think him not telling Elena about it is the proof, because he knew that she would stop him, and he probably knew that it was right for her to stop him. So, so better to just not tell her at all.
What else was I going to say there? Yeah, definitely.
And speaking of Elena, I thought that her character was a little diminished in this too, especially compared to previous games in the series. Like, like she was never like a damsel in distress, which was good, but she was against, like, you wanted her to just be supportive of Nathan, and he just wants to help his brother, and she was, you know, like, she just brought everything down. And like, I mean, I understand it, and it was an important role for her character to have, but she was just as she is into adventure too. She, you know, they fell in love over this life, so
right.
it was just like a little bit disappointing because she used to be a lot more dynamic, and Sully too was way less in this game than ever before. And I know they really wanted to emphasize the relationship between Nathan and Sam, especially since Samuel had never been in any game before. He had to be established, but like I really missed seeing Sullivan as much.
Me too. He's definitely my favorite character in the series, personally. Very good.
Right. So
At least he said that a bunch.
He has to. It's in the voice actor's contract. So the crew at Naughty Dog have said that this is definitely going to be Nathan Drake's last adventure, but that doesn't necessarily mean the last Uncharted game. So do you think they'll maybe do like a spin-off, or have it be just a completely other character but the same sort of game, the same feel, or what do you think? Where do you think the series could go from here?
Man, I hope so. I mean, they're so good, and there's so much they could do. I mean, literally use anything from history.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I think that there's still a lot that they could do. I don't really want to see another Nathan Drake one. It's like a prequel.
Right. Yeah. They actually said that too. Like, yeah, it would be hard to do one after this, but we could do like a prequel, and that would be okay. But yeah, I don't want to see anything in his life after this, and even honestly a prequel, I think I would be more interested in a completely new set of characters than just seeing more of Nate, and like even like reference them, like maybe it's like a kid that got inspired by reading about his adventures or something. Just like we are. We're baby children.
I wish I could do this kind of stuff.
Hold
myself up a wall.
That's always what I think about when I play these games, is like the slightest thing happens, like, well, okay. Or like so like the side of the cliff will crumble beneath him for the 1,000th time, and then like, but then it just in time he's able to grab a hold of something so that he doesn't die. Like what if he missed? That's it. Or like, what if there was no?
There hadn't been a convenient foothold.
Right, or another crate on wheels.
Rocks, like side of a cliff. I don't know how many cliffs you've seen, fella, but I just don't think those exist.
So yeah, I definitely am done with Nathan Drake. I thought this was a very satisfying send-off. I liked all the you know, the epilogue stuff. Again, I don't really want to spoil too much, but I was very happy with how everything ends up.
Really good ending. Really good ending.
So overall, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
I was just gonna say, can we talk about gameplay for a second?
Yeah, of course.
So this is actually my first foray into actually playing Uncharted. I've watched you play all the other ones, so like I knew the story and everything and how it worked. But it made me mad when there'd be footholds and ledges, but you couldn't climb on them because that's not what the game wanted you to do.
Yeah. And
sometimes the way I wanted to go actually seemed like the more logical way to go. Like, why wouldn't I just go this way? So like, I mean, I don't know, it's neat that it's like, hey, there are no shortcuts in this. Like, you don't know exactly where you're going or what you have to do, just like him. But at the same time, I feel like if logic is thrown out of it, then it upset me.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just Uncharted, and I'm just annoyed by it because it's my first like experience with it.
No, I totally agree. Like right now I'm climbing up the outside of the clock tower, and like you can see, like it's all mortar. Like there's no, like any handhold is as good as any other, basically. It's all just bricks you could grab. So like why, I mean, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They're definitely very, very regimented and set in what they want you to do. And if you don't,
but I guess that also helps too. I like how linear it is, because sometimes, I mean, open world is fun, but like sometimes it's so hard to figure out where you're supposed to go. For the most part, it's pretty obvious what you're supposed to do. But at the same time, you know.
Another sort of gameplay problem I have is, especially towards the end of the game, the combat on these games. I mean, maybe I'll lose all my credibility or whatever, but it's really hard. It's very, very difficult. And then when you're, at the end of the game, and there's so many enemies, and they're all just bullet sponges. You can just shoot them with the strongest weapons in the game, and they just keep taking it, and it just doesn't affect them. Like,
right.
It gets very, very frustrating, because all I want to do is just see the conclusion. I've been waiting for this game. It keeps getting delayed. The last one came out, however many years ago. I just want to play, and no, I have to lose and fight this guy again and again and again. It's just not really fun. And that's another common criticism about the Uncharted games, is like the bullet spongy enemies that just take so much punishment. But
especially those big guys with the helmets that have the machine gun things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And the game even said at the bottom the first time I fought one of them, it was like, rip their helmets off before you shoot them. Well, that's real difficult when he's got a
not quite so easy, sir.
Thanks for the hint.
Oh, yeah. Good thing you were here, game. Let's try that.
Win the game.
Okay, so anything else you'd like to add in closing as I try to remember how to make this swing properly?
Overall, I mean, as always on these, we complain and talk about the negative stuff, but really it's my favorite thing, and I'm really glad that I played it. I'm a better person for having done so.
Oh my word. So are you going to try the Nathan Drake collection now, so you can play them all?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I've actually got a buddy who's going to let me borrow his later on this week.
Oh, at first I thought you were talking about me, and I was like, I mean, sure, we didn't talk about it. You're getting guilt me by it being online.
No, I'm definitely going to try him out really soon. I'm glad I knew the story going into this, but now I want to play it for myself. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And one other thing that bears mentioning is the Explorer difficulty that this game added. I think is a really, really smart idea, because there are a lot of people that are less experienced with games and just want to see the story, and because that's such a big selling point to so many people, that having it be not brutally difficult all the time is not the worst idea in the world.
I couldn't agree more, because I'm one of those people who just enjoys games but is horrible at all of them.
All right, well,
every other endeavor I attempt.
In
life. It's just sad. Why is it getting real here on War Stories?
It's super real. But more like horrors of war stories. All right, but that'll wrap it up for us today. I guess in closing, I'd say maybe 8.5 out of 10 would be if I had to give it a score. What do you say?
I'm gonna go 9.5.
Okay.
But my opinion means a lot less, because I'm far less experienced with video games.
Oh, I think the little like niggling problems that I had with it stood out to me more than you. But I also think my expectations were higher, having played the other ones.
Right.
All right, well, that'll wrap it up for us today. Make sure you subscribe to the Full Instance channel so you can get content like this. War Stories are every Tuesday and Thursday, but we have something coming every single day here on the channel. Thank you, as always, to TheIceMann for joining me, and we'll be back soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know about you guys, but we're full.